Welcome to another exciting edition of the show. It promises to be exciting as always, and you can rest assured that we'll definitely touch as many sports as we can, also keeping you abreast of the latest sports business news. Now, the Premier League saw its clubs lose a combined $1.2 billion in the 2020-2021 season, which represents an improvement from last year's results. The heavy losses were spearheaded by the Premier League's big six clubs, which are Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Tottenham Hotspur. The top flight clubs reported a combined loss of $816 million, which is roughly 63% of the league's total losses. For the 2019-2020 season, losses amounted to $1.6 billion, which is the highest since 2009. Combined revenue for the Premier League's 20 clubs reached $5.8 billion in 2020-2021, and about $4 billion of that revenue came from media rights deals. It reported $36 million in match day revenue compared to a potential $829 million from match day revenue, and this is as a result of restrictions on fans' attendance. Now, leading the Premier League in losses for the 2020-2021 season was Chelsea, a club that will look to rebound under new ownership. The Blues suffered a loss of $244 million during a season that saw the club finish fourth in the Premier League standings. In May, a consortium led by Los Angeles Dodgers, Lakers, and Sparks co-owner Todd Boehly purchased Chelsea for $5.2 billion, the largest sale ever for a professional sports team. It also marks the first time that more than half of the Premier League's clubs were under American ownership. Still talking English football, Everton's majority shareholder Farhad Moshiri has written a letter to the club's fans insisting the English club is not for sale. A consortium led by former Manchester United and Chelsea chief executive Peter Kenyon and bankrolled by U.S. real estate tycoon Maciej Kamiński and billionaire mining and investment magnate John Thornton were in exclusive negotiations to purchase the Toffees. But in a message on the club's website, Moshiri said that any new investment would only be a minority stake. Everton have posted cumulative losses of more than £370 million over the last 3 financial years, following huge investments in the playing squad for little reward. Earlier this month, Everton stepped away from takeover talks with the Kenyon-led group. However, the Kamiński family claimed that negotiations were still ongoing. Moshiri is reportedly eyeing external investment options for the club's new £500 million stadium, which is set to open its gates in time for the 2024-2025 campaign. And in the world of baseball, the New York Yankees have enlisted Legends Global Partnership to help secure the first ever jersey patch sponsor ahead of the 2023 season. The Major League Baseball franchise is seeking to take advantage of new league rules permitting teams to sell branding on their sleeves to corporate sponsors for the first time. The Major League Baseball is projecting total revenue of up to $400 million annually by allowing its franchises to sell uniform patches, which equates to more than $13 million per team. The Yankees, which own a minority stake in Legends, having co-founded the company in 2008 alongside the Dallas Cowboys, stands to generate far above the league average given their history, profile, and location in the United States' largest media market. Chris Hibbs, president of Legends Global Partnerships, disclosed that the company is seeking for a multi-year deal for the Yankees that will be in the range of a top-tier stadium naming rights agreement. Sherika Jackson beating all of that competition, not forgetting Dina Asher-Smith, to claim her 5th world title and also stage a successful title defense. Talking about the 100 meters, definitely a legend of the sport. She's been through it all from her first world title in 2009 up till year 2022. We can't overemphasize the longevity that Shirley Ann Fraser-Price's career has displayed for us to see, and it's just entertaining and astonishing as well that she can still pull off such impressive time even at this stage of her career. She is at the twilight of her career, and we just need to appreciate the talent as well as her greatness in the sport, because she's indeed a legend. 10.67 seconds over the course of 100 meters. Her personal best is 10.60 seconds, and it just shows you that she's in the form of her life despite being at the twilight of her career. For the Jamaicans, it was a sweet revenge, you want to say, Remember, the Americans claimed a clean sweep of the podium, talking about the men's 100 meters with Fred Kelly winning the gold there. And he also had, Massey as well as Brummel completing the podium sweep for America in the men's category. So in the women's category, the Jamaicans were the ones who made a clean sweep. Shirley Ann Fraser-Pryce winning her 5th world championship over 100 meters, talking about gold medal now. And Shericka Jackson came 2nd. Ellen Thompson-Herah came 3rd. For Ellen Thompson-Herah, it is the first medal when it comes to, the 100 meters at the World Championship, and she would definitely take it, although she would have definitely hoped for, maybe a silver or at least, or rather a gold medal as it were. But it was Shirley Ann Fraser-Pryce, known as the Rocket Pocket, who made it happen on the day. She's been impressive all through this season, and it's a great way to cap it. It will be intriguing to see how the rivalry between the Jamaican trio of Shirley Ann Fraser-Pryce, Shericka Jackson, as well as Ellen Thompson-Herah will pan out over the course of 200 meters. You can be rest assured that all 3 women, barring injuries, would line up for Jamaica when it comes to the 4x100 meters relay for the women. So it's a great thing to see the rivalry between the United States and Jamaica over the course of the sprints, the dashes as it were, 100 meters, 200 meters, as well as the 4x100 meters. That's about it when it comes to, the World Championships. You remember that right about now there's so many athletes making great waves, but we'll definitely bring you highlights of the competition or various events as they unfold. But I think right about now the name on everyone's lips is Shirley Ann Fraser-Pryce, who is making waves at this point in time. Well, let's move away from there now and talk about something else that has to do with commissioners, and that's about money revenue in sports. Now, commissioners throughout professional sports took pay cuts during the pandemic, but some were handsomely rewarded as their overall compensation reached new heights. The executives have benefited from an influx of bonuses, incentives, as well as benefits packages. Now, in 2020, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell took a significant pay cut amid financial uncertainty due to the pandemic. Goodell, who became commissioner in 2006, had a salary of $0. Now, let me explain that to you. He didn't earn anything in 2020 in terms of salary, $0. Yet, the 63-year-old still pocketed $63.9 million that year from bonuses and other benefits. Now, it just shows you how astonishing this is, that a commissioner, that's the NFL, that's the National Football League's commissioner, Roger Goodell, who earned nothing in terms of salary, could still go home with $63.9 million from bonuses and benefits during the pandemic. Now, between 2019 and 2020, Goodell made an astonishing $128 million. A whopping $128 million. Now, the earnings were fueled by the NFL's $113 billion in media deals with CBS, NBC, Disney, Fox, and Amazon. Goodell also benefited from a new collective bargaining agreement approved in 2020. And it's not just about the NFL's commissioner. In the world of golf as well, you had PGA Commissioner Jim Monahan, who also didn't take a salary in 2020, yet he earned $14.1 million in 2020. There he's right there on the screen, rather. And for Monahan, that was his largest compensation package to date, $14.1 million. Now, the PGA also awarded its staff, including executives, $130.5 million in 2020, up from $123.3 million a year before. Well, back to the NFL Commissioner Goodell, he stands a chance to increase his earnings potentials with the recent financial success of America's most popular professional sports league. The NFL reportedly generated $11.1 billion in revenue during the 2021 season, totaling $343.75 million in revenue for each of the league's 32 franchises. Now, the results represented a 12% increase compared to the 2020 season, thanks to a 23% increase in sponsorship revenue. The league also boasts of, expectations in terms of the revenue reaching $25 billion by 2027 in terms of annual revenue. So it just shows you that there's so much money in NFL, and commissioners are making money across board, be the NBA, the NFL, the NBA. I'm not forgetting the NHL, that's the National Hockey League, as it were.